gentlemen, welcome to our Night of Champions 2025 predictions video. I'm Santi.
Noche de Campeones.
Noche de Campeones, bing bong wepa. Oh, buddy, this card has been the bane of my existence. I made my I made my solo predictions video.
Bane of your existence, brother.
I made my predictions video for my my solo one on Sunday, and then by the next day, it's like more than half of the card is different. They removed Dom versus AJ, and then they add 2 more matches. I'm sick and tired of WWE. Stop trying to make Bane impressions with your glass, all right?
What do you mean, brother? Oh, no. Poor Santi. You got to make another video about WWE.
Not like I make one every freaking day, but here we are, Night of Champions.
No one's making you.
Dude, yes, they are, man. Yes, they are. The house of cards will crumble when I miss one video. I just know that it will. You know how like it's you know the cursed play, Macbeth. I said it. All right.
Scottish play, you idiot. Scottish play.
We got Macbeth. The premonitions, right? You will die from he who is not born of women, right? And you're like, oh, that's impossible. Nothing's gonna happen. Something bad will happen in this world when I stop uploading daily. I just know it. I just know that my daily uploads are holding the weight of the planet. And the second I don't upload a video that day, it'll be a massive butterfly effect, and that will be when the world catapults on itself. That's what's gonna happen.
The Macho Man with that poster coming down from the heaven.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just holding off the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse with my daily videos. I just know it. I know that's my calling in life.
Thank you, then.
I know. Well, folks, this is our Night of Champions predictions podcast. Of course, there will be a full-fledged episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. Don't you worry. Of course, you could be getting this predictions video early over on patreon.com/SantiZap, as well as the actual podcast itself 3 days early, and all of the other content that we do there over on patreon.com/SantiZap. So, Sancho, let's go through things on a match-by-match basis. I've already mentioned that they've removed...
It's going to change tomorrow.
Probably at this pace. They've removed Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles on screen. They're saying Dominic is injured. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe he just doesn't want to travel there, which I don't blame him at the moment with how things are.
No,
but it might just be
a broken heart, bro. Do you see how sad he was?
El corazón me duele. Little broken heart. Dude. His guarita is gone. He's suffering from a broken heart, and now we don't have that match. You know what, though? I'm glad that match isn't happening. I
agree.
Like, they had nothing going for it, like, from a story perspective. If this gives him more time to build up for Saturday night's main event, sure. Why not? Give it more time to turn into something that I might actually care about. Aiken canceled. Like, I was like, dang. Oh, well. Darn, bing bong, wepa. But now what's interesting is that now we only have 2 championship matches on Night of Champions and 3 championship matches the night before on SmackDown. Which one's the real Night of Champions, I ask? Something to ponder. But yeah, let's jump into things now on a match-by-match basis. Let's start things off with Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. Sancho, the Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels feuds returns. I'll let you take this one.
Dude, I'm so hyped for this match. It's one of those accidents. Like, oh my God, we get this match is really cool because I'm a big Raquel Rodriguez fan, and seeing what happened on Monday Night Raw with that Tejana, come on, dude. The Tejana finisher was so good because no one could throw around Rhea Ripley like that, and who's that mobile? Like, I mean, yeah, sure, Nia Jax.
Time to go mobile. Damn it, dude. We have met our quota for the entire month of June on Bane references in The Dark Knight.
It's impressive. It's impressive that we could do that so easily. But Raquel is also impressive with Rhea Ripley. And the question is, Santi, to answer your question, who's going to win here, is what are they going to do with Rhea Ripley? Are they trying to build momentum or build momentum for Raquel Rodriguez? I don't think they're going to try to build momentum for Raquel Rodriguez. What they're trying to do, Santi, is build momentum for Roxy.
Bingo.
So what they're bingo, bing bong. So what they're trying to do is build momentum for Roxy. They're trying to gain the favor of Roxy for Raquel Rodriguez to put them in the tag team division so they could continue jumpstart that in some sort of way. Obviously, Roxy's going to slot in where Liv was supposed to be and to serve that. So my prediction is Raquel wins with the assistance of Roxy.
I think you hit it on the head. Like we are off to a similar start here. I think everything that you said is like very sound. I think the idea here isn't just to put over Raquel Rodriguez. I think it's to form a new believable set of women's tag team champions. And the best way to do this, aside from just giving Roxy the title, is to show chemistry between Roxy and Raquel, which we showed on Monday Night Raw. And what better chemistry can you get than having Roxanne help Raquel Rodriguez win? You've been answering my questions with more questions. So now I'm going to answer your additional questions with more questions. I think what's important to ask ourselves is, what's the play for Evolution? And my friend, I think it's, and I've always thought this, you can look, but you can't touch. It's going to be a tag match. They're going to set up Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Nikki Bella and Rhea Ripley. Like I see it from a mile away. I think it was meant to be obviously Liv in this position, but I think this is the play. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to have Rhea Ripley lose because of the numbers game, and that numbers game will continue to be a problem come Monday Night Raw. And then you can look, but you can't touch, because you can't just completely ignore the fact that you brought back Nikki Bella simply because Liv Morgan is gone. Nikki Bella is going to be part of this, is going to be part of Evolution in some capacity. That looked more like Sasha Banks, by the way.
I was doing, because I can't do the Nikki Bella.
Have you tried?
Which is more, yes, and it's very frightening.
Oh man, so that's where I think things are gonna pivot to next. So I'm with you. I think Raquel Rodriguez is going to win this numbers game. And then we will be setting up for Nikki Bella to be the triumphant hero to help our damsel in distress, Rhea Ripley.
You can Lord of the Rings Two Towers style.
Yes.
Look towards the sun.
Damn, Dark Knight and Lord of the Rings Two Towers. We're on a roll with our movie references. I love it. All right, so we're both going with Raquel Rodriguez, which is a little bit of a breath of fresh air. I kind of like that.
Great promo, by the way, on Monday night, too.
I like it, dude. I liked how pissed she sounded. She sounded believable, real. I'm like, that's
short, sweet.
You don't want to mess with someone like that. It's like, a promo, long-winded promos are not her jam, right? Get to the point, fight, Tahana bomb, boom.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Her theme is an underrated banger, by the way.
Dude,
underrated.
I said the same. Dude, we are me and you right now. Hey, look at this. Look at this. Yeah. Look at this right now. I said the same thing last night on Monday Night Raw. I'm like, this theme's actually like good. In the sea of garbage, Raquel's theme is not one of those floating pieces of garbage. It's actually pretty good.
Not. Sleeper hit.
All right, moving on here to our another recently announced match. We have Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross singles match. And ladies and gentlemen, it's happened. Karrion Kross not only has gotten a match, but he got a match on a PLE. I know that you want to jump in here, but I have a couple of thoughts that I've already shared on my YouTube page. Sancho, this is a fan-driven thing. It's clear WWE had no intentions of using Karrion Kross until the fans started making noise. I just want to remind people that this isn't Karrion Kross's first opportunity. He's had major opportunities before, major matches, and they've been bad. They've been boring, unengaging. Fans don't care. I cannot stress this enough. This cannot be one of those. Karrion Kross, literally, Sancho, needs to have the best match of his entire career. If he wants to prove that this isn't just like fans being annoying and spoiled and just want to see something that WWE doesn't want to give him, he needs to prove that in this match. He and Sami Zayn need to tear the house down. The crowd's going to be involved. They are, because Sami Zayn is there. It's in Saudi Arabia. I don't know how the Saudi crowd's going to feel about Karrion Kross, but the Saudi crowd hasn't really been that counterculture crowd from the rest of the world. So I think they're going to like Karrion Kross. They're going to pop for Karrion Kross as well. The crowd is involved. They've got that part of the equation solved. But this match, Sancho, needs to bang. If Karrion wants to legitimize the backing of the fans, because if he goes out there and has a stinker, the magic is dead. The magic of the fan support is genuinely dead. This has to be the greatest show on earth if I'm carrying Cross. And that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
We did our part. We got him to the dance. We got him into the dance. Got him in the club. Now he has to perform. He knows that. He knows the lights have to be on. Now, in his history, he can put on banger matches. Recently at GCW during WrestleMania weekend, did a great match. Fantastic match. The question is, what's the goal for Karrion Kross? Is he going to be booked to put Sammy in a way that he's trying to manipulate Sammy to be go into this heel side? Like, is his play is to lose but win Sammy Soul type of vibe? Very Uncle Howdy type of vibe? Or is he trying to beat Sammy? These are the questions I have, because if he loses, I think if he loses, the people may say, hey, he's getting buried. He's not advancing. It has to be a way where it's clear as day that he intentionally wanted to lose, and Sammy has to turn heel pretty quickly from this result, or it won't read well. Does that make sense?
I totally get you. I think Karrion Kross can win in a loss, right? Because of the motivations of the character. What he's trying to accomplish isn't just as simple as materialistic 1-2-3 pinfall victories. He has bigger, like, string pulling, puppeteering moves that he's trying to make, and even with a loss, he can advance his agenda per se.
Right.
So I'm not really concerned about him winning or losing here. I genuinely am just focused on it being good. That is first and foremost the most important thing.
So this match is going to be good work-wise, right? Sammy and Karrion are great, but I'm looking for the extra seasoning, the flavor. Is there going to be a moment where Karrion's like points to his chin, like, come on, Sammy, hit me right here, put his hands behind the back, like that kind of stuff that adds that extra layer that Karrion could bring, that diversity that he's been bringing to the backstage. He needs to put it in the ring. We oftentimes criticize Braun Breaker, how his backstage doesn't match his in-ring before he joined Seth. Now here we are. Karrion, can't be you, brother. Your backstage needs to match your in-ring. And if it doesn't match, then we're going to be a problem. The other thing as well is going to begin Sami Zayn in the backyard of his, like, second home, so to speak, when it comes to performing in Canada and being the other, is that Karrion is not going to be he's not going to get any pop that big as compared to Sammy, unless the Saudis give him the LA Knight treatment. You know, they started that search for LA Knight. Questions aside, I do think it'd be bold for the WWE to give Karrion a win here. As someone who hasn't been on TV for a long time, doing really well on main event, just because I got to keep it up with the Karrion Kross train, my vote for Karrion Kross.
All right, I'm going to go with Sami Zayn. I'm going to go with Sami Zayn, but like I said, I feel like Karrion can win in a loss. I could see a world where Sami wins being nefarious, being a bad guy. Maybe he uses a weapon. Maybe he cheats. Maybe it's not a full-blown heel turn, like, per se, in front of the Saudi crowd, but it's using a tactic that he otherwise wouldn't use if presented to him. And then after the match, Karrion can be like, see, Sammy, you are a bad guy. And Karrion can win in a loss. So I'm going to take, in the book, Sami Zayn winning. Psychologically, Karrion Kross.
It's going to be a turnbuckle spot. Calling it. Exposed turnbuckle.
Could be. Yeah, different ways you can do it. I like it. I like it. I don't think it can be a vanilla match, but more than anything, it can't be bad. It can't be bad.
Vanilla and sprinkles. Give me some sprinkles.
Sure. Moving on to more sprinkles here. Another championship match. This has nothing to do with sprinkles. I was just trying to find a way to segue. Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sakoa for the United States Championship. Sancho, I blabbed on the last one. Let's hear your thoughts here.
Isn't it interesting that this match, even though it's been cooking for a while in the oven, doesn't still feel ready to come out yet? You know what I mean? This feels bigger than where we are now. I feel like we haven't hit that tipping point yet. We've had one sentimental promo from Solo, like, dude, I love you, Jacob, and I just want you to know that families always fight, and, you know, this is the way it is. And then Jacob's like, dude, you brought me in this world just to be your muscle. You came for fame and gold, and I was your instrument. Like, I like that, but I was like, now we're jumping into the match. Like, wait, we just explored something cool. There was so many different moments we could have had where good old Kaiju Kane, JC Mateo, could do something against Jacob Fatu to maybe make Solo regret his decisions of putting his muscle against Jacob Fatu. I feel like there's so much room to explore that we kind of did not It's kind of like we played Red Dead Redemption. We just did draw the missions straight through the missions. Now we're here at the match, and I was like, oh, dude, there were so many cool side quests we could have gone down this road with this pass. So I'm bummed that we're already getting this match so early. I don't think you take the belt off of Jacob here. It kind of makes no sense to do so unless you're debuting a new member of the Team Bloodline 2.0, 3.0. I don't know what version we're on. You debut a new member of Solo Sikoa's faction, because Solo always does better with either numbers or, he does better with numbers. So either the Tongas come back, which would be great for Tonga Loa to come back, and Tama Tonga, or Hikuleo gets debuted, or another member that gets debuted. I'm going to go, for sake of this prediction video, Jacob Fatu.
I'm also agreeing with you here. I thought that this was a SummerSlam worthy program in terms of a storyline. So I was a little bit surprised when they pulled the trigger early on this, especially because they had something else in the chamber that they could have gone with that would have, I think, made more sense for something like a Night of Champions. Damian Priest versus Jacob Fatu. Where did that go? They could have absolutely ran that at Night of Champions so that we could continue to massage and kindle a bit more the storyline of Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, and make that into a bigger flame going into a SummerSlam program. Because when I look at what's available for Jacob Fatu in terms of story for that U.S. title, I don't think it gets bigger than Solo Sikoa. I think that's the apex, the height of storytelling for Jacob Fatu's United States Championship reign. It's that story. So for them to run it at Night of Champions instead of SummerSlam was a little bit peculiar. I'm kind of wondering if maybe they plan on doing Damian versus Jacob at SummerSlam, and that sounds a lot less appealing, does it not? The second that you made that face, I can tell that you agree. So I think they should have done Jacob Damian here and continued to build towards a more emotional matchup between Jacob and Solo Sikoa. I'm going to take Jacob Fatu to win this here, and I think that Jacob winning is going to be the catalyst for Solo Sikoa to need more men to take out Jacob Fatu, and that will be Hikuleo, the Tongans. Probably not at this show. I'm going to predict that it'll be on SmackDown, but I'm going to also take Jacob Fatu.
Eventually, I do see the United States title going on Solo Sikoa, though, but not now.
I mean, like, if you... Like, it's clear WWE has major plans for Jacob Fatu beyond the United States Championship. Yes. At least that's what I see. I think Solo's a perfect person to take the title off of him, if you ask me. I would have liked for it to happen further down the line at SummerSlam. We can say, hey, he had a WrestleMania to SummerSlam championship reign, but now it's harder to believe that Jacob is only going to have a WrestleMania to Night of Champions reign in terms of length. So I'm sticking with Jacob Fatu here. Moving on to the Queen of the Ring finals, we have Asuka versus Jade Cargill. Winner gets crowned Queen of the Ring and goes on to SummerSlam to face the champion of their respective brand. I'll go first here. It's obviously Jade Cargill. Obviously, Jade Cargill is going to win this. We talked a little bit about how WWE and King of the Ring no longer has this relationship of like, hey, this is where we do the unpredictable. This is where we do the unsafe, the grimy, the dirty, where we experiment. I think the destination has and will always be Jade Cargill in the main event scene. Now, we do have a last woman standing match between Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. It is a perfect match stipulation for Naomi to cash in. If Naomi cashes in and wins, I'm quadrupling down on Jade Cargill winning. I'm already that confident that Jade Cargill is going to win. It'll just be made even more certain that she'll win if Naomi successfully cashes in on the Friday night before Night of Champions. I think the destination is a big SummerSlam match for Jade Cargill. I think that we're still going to get to Asuka versus Io Sky. But one of the things that I've come to notice in connecting some dots, Sancho, is that if something happens on commercial break on Monday Night Raw, it's not entirely canon, all right? Or it's like WWE testing the waters. Look at the Ludwig Kaiser thing. How often did we see him on commercial trying to get a WrestleMania match, and then now he disappears for 3 months and then makes a surprise appearance in the background of a Penta and Chad Gable beatdown, right? So what happens on commercial break isn't necessarily indicative of what you're probably going to get, which is why that Asuka and Io Sky segment happening on commercial break actually gave me more confidence that Jade Cargill is going to win. I don't think that WWE intends on it being Asuka. I really think especially with that commercial that happening on commercial break, that conversation, I think is going to be Jade Cargill.
I don't want to alarm you, but there is times where your mic's cut off. I just want to make sure you're being picked up on the recording.
It might just be Discord. It should be fine on the OBS.
Sure. You keep an eye on your meter.
I'll have a look.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Asuka, simply because the idea of Asuka versus Io probably should happen now sooner than later. And I do feel that the whole Naomi and Jade Cargill would only start happening, the ball will start rolling when Bianca's ready. I don't think Bianca's ready just yet. The injury to the finger, I mentioned this before in our podcast, takes a long time to recover. It's a very nagging injury to have. You use your hands a lot, one. And two, the physical therapy of getting your hands just to remember how to screw things on and off. It's a very tedious physical therapy. I know because I broke my finger in half. It was disgusting. So the point is that I don't think Bianca's ready to go. And I don't think you could start that program just yet. I think it'd be one of those builds that if you start it now and Bianca's ready, I don't know, near past SummerSlam, then I think you would have an issue. Just because I don't think Jade could hold something that long with Naomi. It'd be too much of a juxtaposition in how their promo styles wouldn't clash that well because Jade Cargill's just not ready yet. She's getting better, a lot better these days, especially with her interviews with Saxton. So for that though, looking at that tease that you talked about with Asuka and Io makes so much sense. It looks great. It works. It makes sense for a SummerSlam, a night 1 or night 2. It would be one of those sleeper matches that you could put on the card. It could easily steal the night in terms of quality, and it would be a great way to reignite Io Sky. I feel that Asuka is one of those characters that could add a good notch on the belt for Io. And at the same time, Io's been cold, man. Like, they haven't done nothing with Io ever since she got the belt back. And I feel like, where's Io gonna go if it's not Asuka and Io? Who is Io's gonna opponent be at SummerSlam if that's the vibe, right? And why have Asuka go through the King of the Ring if they're gonna say, well, we're still gonna give you that match at SummerSlam? It just feels a weird thing to me that I feel that this is gonna be an Asuka dub. I just feel like she's returning. She has a lot of momentum. She kind of beat Alexa Bliss pretty easily. And I know Jade's those rockets still strapped to her, but I don't think they're ready to ignite it just yet because Bianca's not ready.
I think they are. I think they're just gonna. I think they're gonna go with the safest, most predictable thing. I wanted to be Asuka, by the way.
You don't think Asuka's safe compared to Jade? Jade's still a
no. Okay, so yeah, it's safe, but like I believe that their investment in Jade is a safer one than Asuka. I think they WWE, from what I've seen in terms of their booking of Asuka, isn't we're gonna get a tremendous amount of money on a megastar out of Asuka. I feel like they've already tried and they didn't do a good enough job, and that train has left. I think with Jade Cargill, that train is still in the station, and they want to use SummerSlam to catapult her to get to a Bianca Belair level of stardom. I think that's what they're looking to get out of Jade Cargill, and I don't think that they're looking to get the same thing out of Asuka, which is why I think Queen of the Ring works better in WWE's mind's eye for Jade Cargill to catapult her to that spot, because Asuka, in terms of age, in terms of how long she's already been there, they're not going to make her the it girl. They're not. Jade, they might.
I think you're looking at it the wrong way. For me, it's they're using the catapult of Asuka being Queen of the Ring and then Io beating her as a way to build up Io.
But if you want to build Io, why aren't you building Io? Why are you waiting to do? Why you're doing nothing with Io?
Just give her Asuka then, you know.
But you can just give her Asuka if you want to. That's the thing.
That's what I mean. Like, why go to the Queen of the Ring? Why put Asuka in this position? Well, you could at least have put Alexa Bliss in this position.
Maybe. But like, if the intention is to build Io as your star, they're doing a terrible job. Meanwhile, with Jade, even if you aren't a fan of Jade, it's pretty clear that they're doing a good job. They're featuring her every single week. She gets the big moments, the big matches, the big feuds right now. They're doing everything like going through the checklist of making Jade Cargill a star. And I think the last check left is Queen of the Ring. With Asuka, that checkbox, they stopped years ago. It's interesting they didn't give Jade a singles push.
You know, like in terms of a single title, like the IC
I
or
see.
the
Yeah.
United States. You know, they just went straight to the Queen of the Ring and then she'll go to heavyweight title picture.
I
Interesting.
think honestly with the US title being there, they should have started perhaps with her and then launch that off to a Queen of the Ring victory because yeah, she's gonna go right into the main event scene, completely ignoring the mid card. But she did do her time in the women's
In the
tag team
tag team.
division, which
True.
was the
True.
mid card for a long time for
True.
the WWE. Let's move on here to the King of the Ring finals. We have Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Winner goes on to face, well, would be John Cena. They're both on SmackDown. So that one is confirmed. It would be to face John Cena at SummerSlam. Sancho, what say you?
It's going to be Cody Rhodes. Okay, this is the ticket for Cody to get to the go up against John Cena. It is so frustrating that we got here. Like when I posted it, when the match went down between Jay and Cody, I was like, well, that's one way of getting Cody to King of the Ring. And it's interesting how they sacrificed so much for the run back of John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Arguably not a great match at WrestleMania. They want to do it again at SummerSlam. Clearly, Randy and John, there is an opportunity to do it again. Randy got screwed out of it with R-Truth, and Randy hit so many RKOs that match. And it was a solid match. You would say that's definitely better than the Mania match between Cody and John. But the people, it's just the WWE and the people want Cody to get a crack at it at SummerSlam. The first ever 2-night SummerSlam. It just makes so much sense here. I think maybe they'll have a better promos going around the second time around again. But after the way they discarded the Jey Uso push and the Jey Uso momentum for Cody. You got to give it to Cody. You cannot sacrifice Jey Uso, who has a loss to Gunther to make way for Goldberg, then has another loss to Cody, back-to-back losses, and expect nothing to happen for it. You can't be one of those fans, Santi, that go, well, at least Jey lost to the King of the Ring, Cody Rhodes, because you know when your team loses, like, well, at least they lost to the Super Bowl champion. I don't feel any bad about things about that. So maybe that's the saving grace for Jey Uso, fall from grace from losing his heavyweight title. I don't know, man. I just don't like for me, when it comes down to booking and the way results, I don't mind results. I could care less about who advances, who doesn't. It's all about how. How did Cody Rhodes beat Jey? And how did he beat Jey? He broke his sleeper hold easily by standing up and dumping him over the ropes, right? He did that easily. Gunther couldn't do that. And then he gets speared, shakes that off, goes up for a top rope cutter, and then the one crossroads, and that's it.
You forgot the 2 super kicks. One of the things that I mentioned is like he hit the super kicks, which were his finisher at one point, 2 of them,
that's true.
and then a spear, which is his finisher now. And then Cody's like, it's not going to work for me, brother.
So all that leads me to believe the way that it has to be Cody Rhodes, because Randy's way, his path to King of the Ring, didn't sacrifice much because it was just Sami Zayn and he got launched to the Karrion Kross saga. But I don't know, man. I feel that, again, I will always say this, that this King of the Ring is not my cup of tea when it comes to this old head of my onk status. So Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, it's Cody Rhodes. Funnily enough, as excited as I am for the concept of Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, the feud starting here, which, by the way, I see a lot of people saying that, oh, this is such a waste of the Cody-Randy feud. It's the start, man. Remember how many people were saying this is a waste of Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes doing this at Bash in Berlin with both of them baby faces? By the end of that feud, they wanted to murder each other and had an insane ladder match at Royal Rumble. You can start with something that is a friendly who's the best one, and then eventually build up to a custody of Dominic Mysterio ladder match, because that was the Rey and Eddie feud, okay? You can start with something that has materialistic, friendly even motivations, and then eventually build up to something big. So for those that think this is a waste of the Cody-Randy feud, this is the start of the Cody-Randy feud. This is what's going to be the first bullet fired. To you, I just say be patient, because this could eventually build up to a nuke that goes off at WrestleMania. Like, that's how big the Cody and the, maybe not the best term of phrasing at around this time. You get what I'm saying. A big, awesome match at WrestleMania between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. And it could start here.
Read a book, Santi. Jesus.
Pick up a newspaper. What I was also going to say is that I agree with you in that, man, like, what a boring choice to just go with Cody Rhodes. Like,
it's so bad. It's
so boring, but it's so telegraphed too. How long have we been saying this? It's obviously going to be Cody. Well, and Cody doesn't even need this. That's the thing. You could give me Cody versus John Cena just because at SummerSlam. And yeah, of course, this guy pinned Cena at Money in the Bank. This guy was a year-long champion. Yeah, give this guy a rematch. We don't need to go through the hoops, the trials and tribulations of King of the Ring. It just makes sense. If this match, I'll tell you this, Sancho, as excited as I am for Cody Randy, if this match was Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, I'd be a lot more intrigued. I actually might not know who's going to win this. But Cody Randy, it's Cody, and it'll be the catalyst for Randy turning more towards the dark side eventually later on.
Dare I say, like, when I look at everything, and like I mentioned, it's all about details. Cody Rhodes, of course, benefits he's advancing. Jey Uso had no benefit to losing to Cody Rhodes. Like, there's no benefit. He lost back-to-back, right? Put in a Karrion Kross in that position. If he loses, he lost to Cody, and that's a great whatever, right? Hey, at least you lost to Cody. You got a match. You beat Rusev. You beat Sheamus. You beat Bronson Reed. You advanced to go against Cody Rhodes. You put up a great match, and you lost. Karrion Kross, good momentum. Jey Uso, no momentum. No momentum.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, if Randy loses to Cody, that builds something, right? Animosity. It builds a potential storyline.
A punt kick could happen.
Sure. But Jey losing to Cody, that does nothing. You're right. Like, in terms of building what's next for Jey, we're kind of just treading water right now with Jey Uso. This loss here didn't really do anything for him. But at the end of the day, I continue to wave the flag that Cody just doesn't need to go through King of the Ring. It seems like putting too many participation ribbons on Cody Rhodes unnecessarily. Like, just give him the freaking title match, and people would have been on board with it. It would have made sense.
Back-to-back Royal Rumble winner and King of the Ring winner. What else he's gonna win, dude? He can't win Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's gonna be Cody. I think that, you know, for both King and Queen of the Ring, they're gonna go with like what I think is the really telegraphed options, which is Jade Cargill and Cody Rhodes. If it ends up being Asuka and Randy, holy hell. Okay, that's a swerve. That's a curveball, but I don't see it. I don't see it. All right, and let's wrap this up with our predictions of John Cena versus CM Punk singles match.
I forgot about that match.
Yeah, singles match for the WWE Undisputed Championship. This is a 6-match card, Sancho. Rejoice,
wow,
rejoice! A 6-match card. I'll grab this one. Dude, the pipe bomb, we'll talk more about it on the actual podcast, but this truly feels like the beginning of the John Cena retirement tour. You know, I've said this before, that in the lead up to WrestleMania 41, even in the lead up to the match against Randy Orton, it felt like the feud was John Cena versus the fans. And I'm like, okay, we can move on from that now. We understand our relationship. You hate us. You think we're entitled, spoiled. We're still going to love you. But now I think it's time to do John Cena versus the cast of characters trying to save wrestling. And I feel like this is episode 1 of that. Episode 1 should have been Randy, but again, they focus so much more on the Cena and fans relationship during the promos and whatnot. But this is the first time where I'm like, this is Cena versus one of the heroes, one of the individuals trying to champion for the WWE to save professional wrestling. This is what I want more out of the John Cena retirement tour. These types of moments, John Cena getting personal. John Cena can't get fired. Let him break the fourth wall. Let him go to places that you wouldn't expect anybody to go in 2025. And that's what we got out of the pipe bomb. And oh my God, was it a much necessary way, not just to get you more excited for John Cena versus CM Punk, but to just get you excited about the prospect of 6 more months left of John Cena. I'm excited for this match, man. I don't think that this match is going to be bad at all. I think John Cena and CM Punk just historically have had really good chemistry with each other. I know that they're much older now, but now they can rely on storytelling between these two. They can, as the kids say, aura farm, and it'll be great. But this is going to have shenanigans. This is going to have shenanigans. I'm expecting to hear "burn it down." Not maybe a cash in, but what I predicted, Sancho, and this is where I'll pass it off to you. I am predicting Seth Rollins to potentially maybe tease a cash in, as much as I don't like fake cash ins, but I see Seth Rollins' music hitting, him going out there, maybe CM Punk punting him in the head, preventing him from cashing in, and that's enough to open a window for John Cena to pick up the victory. Just a window for John Cena to win, kind of like how R-Truth opened up a window for him to beat Randy Orton. I could see that happening with Seth Rollins. So I'm picking John Cena.
I'm picking John Cena because there's so much fuel in that tank. There is literally all gas, no brakes after that pipe bomb 2.0. I mean, so I think like he's going to continue on that momentum. You cannot stop his momentum after that because it just takes like you mentioned, so many more opportunities for him to do it again. Like, dude, he just hit a home run. You don't bench him all of a sudden because he just did the impossible. Like, it felt like the impossible. It felt like he wouldn't, at the rate he was going, so many people were saying discarding heel Cena, right? I was sitting on the fence with heel Cena every week to week, but after seeing that promo, I was like, I'm on board. I'm totally here to see what he can do next because he is capable of. And it's interesting that CM Punk cut a promo when he came back to WWE saying, I'm here to get the best out of you. And he totally did get the best out of John because all ships rise when you go up against a CM Punk. That being said, I do predict, question, Money in the Bank fake cash-ins. I said it's a fake cash-in if the referee touches the briefcase. It doesn't ring the bell, right? If he hands him the briefcase and the referee touches it, the cash-in attempt has begun. But it doesn't finalize until the bell rings, and then here we are. The cash-in has happened. But a fake cash-in is when they hand it to them, and then something happens, and the referee doesn't get to ring the bell. Does you feel, because walking to the ring with the money, I don't think that's a cash in attempt. Or fake cash in attempt. That's a tease.
Sure. Yeah, maybe a tease. I don't like fake attempts. I really don't. I don't like them.
You don't want the briefcase near the ring at all. Because that to you goes like, right. Okay. I'm just saying, in my mind, an official fake attempt is if the referee touches that briefcase. Then we go like, ooh. We're in fake cash. Anyway,
there's also foiled cash-ins. You know, like maybe Seth tries to hand it to the ref, but CM Punk takes him out. Perhaps
I'm saying, but in the WWE booking ways, that's a fake cash-in.
Yeah, but what if the ref doesn't touch it? What if he's about to hand it to him and then Punk takes him out? It was just a tease. It was just a tease.
It was a tease. It was like the tuck rule, you know?
Yeah, yes, yeah. Upon further review, that was not a cash-in. Seth Rollins keeps the briefcase.
Dude, I love how baller Tom Brady is like years later, like, yeah, I fumbled it. But regarding that, I do think Seth will be at play here. I don't think the briefcase gets burned here. If it does get burned here, it's the way to launch CM Punk and Seth Rollins going forward. I think John Cena will go forward to face the winner of the King of the Ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're both in agreement. So then CM Punk. John Cena. I don't know why. Dude, I'm tripping out. Yes, of course. John Cena is winning here. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, I think, is the most obvious destination that we've ever been taken on. That's what they're going to be doing at SummerSlam. Well, folks, that is our Night of Champions predictions. Please do leave your predictions down in the comments below. Just remember, again, you could have gotten this earlier than everywhere else over on patreon.com/SantiZap. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Take care. Goodbye. Get out of here.